Welcome to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Adjemi, powered by the Retirement Income Store and brought to you by Adjemi Financial Strategies in Guilford, Connecticut and Denver, Colorado.
So Harry came in yesterday for a review, and as he's planning to retire in July, he said, Andrew, I'm trying to plan to retire in July, and I'm just really concerned, Andrew, because, my father was 95 when he died. I'm 65. So that means 30 years in retirement. I know I have this $2 million that I've saved up over the years, but how am I going to live the rest of my life? I mean, if I take out $100,000 a year, that's only going to go 20 years. And yeah, sure, maybe I'll make something on it, but I'm afraid of running out of money. And I said, Harry, hey, I got your back, man. Everything's good. Look at on this review, we're showing that you're going to get $100,000 a year as long as you live. We have set up your money to be able to replace your paycheck that you're getting that now, and you will no longer be getting when you retire. You'll be able to get $100,000 from this $2 million for the rest of your life. He was so pleased. I said, Harry, I'm your CFO. I'm the guy that's helping you up the mountain of retirement and especially helping you down the mountain of retirement. I'm going to be the guardrail on that mountain to keep you from falling off. I'm thinking 7 moves ahead, and we have prepared for this day. You're going to be taken care of. My goal for you, Harry, is to be stress-free and be stress-free in retirement. He said, oh, Andrew, I feel so much better. Man, I am so happy about what you're doing with this. And now I can understand that I'll be able to have the paycheck to replace my paycheck once I retire in July. I'm Andrew Adjemi.
And I'm Daniel Adjemi, and you're listening to Financial Strategies. Today, our subject is Paycheck Replacement Plan. What is your Paycheck Replacement Plan? And now I'm not talking about the government, coronavirus, stimulus, free money, although that is a good way to look at this, because people who received those checks for $600 or $1,200 or whatever those checks were that people got, that's a really good example. You didn't necessarily do anything to receive that money. That was a paycheck replacement. And that's exactly what we're talking about for retirees. You don't go to work any longer, but now you need a paycheck, and you don't want to have to sell assets. You don't want to have to spend down your savings in retirement, because that's how people run out of money. That story is really good. How can you be so confident when markets go up and they go down and they go sideways, and sometimes it takes years for them to get back to where they were? How can you be so confident when you're talking to Harry? How can you do that?
That's a great one. Well, first of all, I want to show you, Daniel. Look, I got my tie on. It's got the snowflakes on it, right? Because here we are. We're not going to have many more days of winter, so I'm happy about that. But I thought I'd wear my bow tie with the snowflakes on it. But anyway, aside from that, how can I be so confident about Harry? And that's because in our case, we are income specialists. We specialize in replacing people's paychecks for retirement, to giving them the income that they need to last the rest of their life. Because retirees' number one fear is no longer the fear of dying. What it is the fear of outliving their money or running out of money. Harry won't have to worry about that, because being income specialists, we set his money up to be able to give him $100,000 a year, essentially living off the dividends and interest, not having to touch his principal for the most part for the rest of his life. If he has to touch it later on in his life, that's fine. But we want to get him out there if he has to, and ideally he won't have to, but if he has to, get him out as far as we can go. But not everybody can say that, because most professional financial people, if we compare them to doctors, are, shall I say, maybe generalists, or maybe they specialize in growth. But there aren't very many professional financial people that specialize in income and replacing the paycheck. And there are some, but they're few and far in between. But this is what people need. They need the right kind of doctor when they reach adulthood, and even when they start getting into retirement. They need a different kind of doctor. In the same way, they need no longer a pediatrician, no longer a generalist. They need a specialist in who's specializing in income, and that's how I can be so certain, Daniel. Well, when we're talking about this, if you've just joined us, you're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Adjemi. Today's topic is paycheck replacement for retirement. And we have a companion piece to go along with today's show, which is maximizing your Social Security benefits. And of course, that's part of making sure that you have a paycheck replacement plan. Social Security is part of that. And if you listen to our shows before, especially the three-legged stool, you'll understand that especially. But we'd like to put this piece in your hand at no charge, no obligation. Just call us at 800-725-7616, 800-725-7616. Ask Megan for the Social Security benefits worksheet or Social Security benefits report. Okay? Social Security report, she'll get that out to you as quickly as she can. You're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew Daniel Adjemi. Today's topic, paycheck replacement.
Dad, a lot of people know this, but sometimes we forget about it, right? Markets go three directions. Sometimes they go sideways, and sometimes they go up really, really high and really, really fast, and sometimes they go down. And
really, really low and really, really fast.
there's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of volatility that we have seen in the past few years. A lot of it has been towards the upside, basically since 2013, right?
Right.
But from 2000 to 2013, a sobering fact is you didn't make anything in markets for 13 years. So if you were 65 years old and you decided to retire in 2000, basically what is that doing? That's putting your retirement on hold or your lifestyle on hold for 13 years while you wait for the markets to get all this garbage out of its system, right? So 13 years. And this was even good companies like Amazon or Microsoft or companies like this that took 13 years to get back to their highs, right? And then now since 13, we've kind of just gone almost parabolic.
But we've had some significant drops even since 2013.
Right.
Not real long, but they were still significant in December of 2018 and then March of 2020, right?
Well, I mean, we could play a game if you want. We could play a game and see which asset class, right? The NASDAQ, the S&P 500, long-term treasury bonds, or bullion, or international stocks, right? Which one of those has performed the best over a 20-year period of time, and let people guess. But I think they would be surprised on the answer. But so with that scenario we set up, right? Over the last 20 years, if you had retired in 2000, in 1999, in 1998, where would you be? What does replacing your paycheck have to do? How can you do that in a time where people would have lost tremendous amounts of money, not only from market volatility, but having to sell to maintain their lifestyle as things were dropping throughout those two market crashes that we had?
Right. Well, that is very key. And one of the things we're going to talk about later in the show is the number one enemy of paycheck replacement. And if you're listening to us, you want to hang around for later on in the show to hear about the number one enemy of paycheck replacement. But, Daniel, when we're talking about this, I think what's very important for our listening audience to understand is definitions. Whenever we talk about definitions, and if you're a regular listener to our show, you know that I'm a proponent of making sure that when words are being said, especially in the financial industry, that you understand the word. Don't think you know what it means. Make sure you're on the same page with the person saying that word, because, it's like, a teenager who's 15, 16 years old, their definition of done, D-O-N-E, is a totally different definition than their parents' definition of done, right? I mean, it's like, hey, are you done cleaning your room? Yeah, I'm done. And all they've done is picked up a few pairs of pants and shirts and whatnot. But and you go in and check and say, hey, yeah, you might, you're not done. What about the dust underneath the bed? What about all the candy wrappers and all the other things hanging around your room, right? You're not done. So in the same way, especially when it comes to the word conservative, a lot of people that I talk to in retirement or close to retirement, their idea of conservative is not losing principal. Everybody wants to make as much as they can, but you have to understand definitions. Where most professional financial people, their definition of conservative is, well, you can lose principal. Because they're using a different definition, and that's another topic for another day. But when we're talking about paycheck replacement, what do we mean by that? Let's define paycheck replacement. Well, the idea behind paycheck replacement is simply the concept of you have $1 million, you have $2 million, like in the story of Harry at the top of our show, and it's not that you're going to go spend $1 million or $2 million in one day in lump sum. That's no good. We have people that want to do that, but that's no good. The idea is being able to get an income, a check from that $1 million, from that $2 million every month or every year for the rest of your life. And I see that it's time to take a break, and we're going to come back and talk more about this paycheck replacement. You're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Adjemi, and we have a book to go along with today's show, which is The Return on Principle, or Return on Principle by David J. Scranton, founder, president of Retirement Income Store. And this is his second book out of the 3 books that he's written. And it's a good book to be able to be easy read, not financialese language in there, to be able to help you understand some of the principles that we're talking about today and how you can replace your paycheck in retirement. So if you want that, call Megan at 800-725-7616, and she'll be glad to get that out to you as quickly as she can. She's looking forward to speaking with you. And we'll be right back after this.
History tells us the market goes up and the market goes down. What would you do if you lost half of your retirement savings? It's time to make the shift to steady, reliable retirement income. And where do you go? The Retirement Income Store. Log on to Adjemi.com for your free retirement review. That's AGEMY.com. The Retirement Income Store, where retirees go for income.